the Minneapolis mayoral candidate that we saw the other day, the I'm the captain now looking Somali guy, light bulb head. They all got that look. They all look the same. It's got to be incest, right? Like in Somalia, they for generation upon generation, perhaps millennia, for millennia, you have Somalis that just stayed in one place. These aren't explorers. These aren't migratory people. These are people that the same group stayed in the same place forever, never ventured out, never explored. So you have a very shallow gene pool, and over the course of thousands of years of f***ing each other and having kids who f*** each other, you have certain physical attributes that denote incestuous behavior. You see it. In some Orthodox Jew communities. You see a lot of that weird look. You see it in certain Native American populations. Yeah, you can't be fucking the same people. It's not good. And it affects IQ, and it affects aesthetically how you look. That big light bulb head and the narrow chin mouth with the shitty teeth and the big eyes, and they're inbred. They're inbred. A lot of Middle Easterners too. A lot of people in the Middle East, they get that pinhead, that Zippy the Pinhead look, because they're fucking each other. It's crazy. So that, by the way, is who has taken over Minneapolis, at least, and Minnesota. They got a great foothold to take over the entire state. Who would think? But this guy running for mayor, this Somali guy, he's talking about, threats to America. What's the biggest threat? And of course, you don't even have to watch the clip. We all know what he believes the biggest threat to America is, but let's watch him say it anyway.
Heard them being called terrorists. We heard them being called drug dealers. We heard a lot of insults. We heard that they're a threat to our national security. And that's a flat out lie. You want to know who the real threat is, Madam President? I'll give you a hint. They don't look like our chief author. They don't look like the folks up in the gallery. They don't look like the folks on the rotunda. They look like many of the members that sit in the front. And you don't have to take my word for it. According to DHS, Madam President, the greatest domestic threat facing the United States comes from, quote, racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists, specifically those who advocate for the superiority of the white race, not our immigrants. We are safer and we're better off because of them.
Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
Hello, I'm Gavin McInnes.
And together we're Compound Censored.
And we would like you to subscribe with this deal using this promo code right below me right now.
Do it, because it's very entertaining. Safer and better off because of immigrants. I suppose he's talking about illegal immigrants. But even if he's not, even if he's talking about the Somalis that they've dumped in Minneapolis, that is now a better place for having been drenched in foreigners who don't even understand or want to understand what America is. That's all. Yeah, we're just going to fucking dumped these people here. And it's safer because of immigrants or illegal immigrants, safer than it would be with white people? How does this country used to be a vast majority white? The vast majority was white. And it was a nicer country. It's just a nicer, more common beliefs between the people. But no, the immigrants are what's making it. And they don't even mean like the way we used to think of immigrants and how we still probably think of immigrants that are good for this country or were, bringing over, Europeans coming over here and working and building a nation, heading west, building the railroads and, taming the Wild West. That was strength in immigration. That was Europeans, white Europeans coming over here and building America. And that did strengthen it. But there's a big difference. What happened there? There's a big difference between that and Somalis coming over and not even trying to assimilate to America. So more bullshit. And the white people, I played a clip on yesterday's show. It was just a bunch of fucking useless, ignorant, low IQ thugs waving their guns around on the street in front of one of their shitty projects. And no one thinks that's dangerous? No one thinks that's an existential threat to people that live in this country and in those communities? And then I put the question, rhetorical question, a liberal woman, Black Lives Matter and all that. And ask her if she would rather walk down that street with these thugs waving their guns, talking shit you can't even understand. It doesn't even sound like English, just perpetuating the violent behavior and looking to kill motherfuckers and rob and rape and burn. Or the same amount of guys, but they're white and they're wearing MAGA hats. And you have to randomly, at night, walk right through the middle of them. Take a seat on the curb, on the side of the street where they're waving their guns and all that. And, of course, the liberal's going to say, why? What do you think the black people are going to do? I'd be afraid of the MAGA. What are they going to take your abortions away? You get shot or raped or something. I don't know what happened on that screen. It just all of a sudden turned into some post-apocalyptic radioactive beach scene. Oh, well, guess it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so fuck that guy. Everyone knows it's not whites. It's not even white supremacists that are trying to do shit in this country. See what was going on in New York yesterday? It was a Muslim. It was a fucking Muslim in a van that got pulled over, and the back of his van was packed with propane containers and big gas cans. Containers of gasoline and propane in the back of the van. This guy had no business. He wasn't, working for the propane company. Why have that much propane? He was looking to do something a bit more nefarious as a Muslim for his religion. You got that clip? I think I had it on one of the days, Sean. Just shows the NYPD offloading these. Yeah, look at this. Look at this guy. Hey. That isn't even him. But, yeah, they arrested the guy Sami Mallah, Allah, Wakbar, fucking. What was he doing? What's he doing with that many propane tanks and then huge jerry cans full of gasoline, and kerosene, and propane in a van? Where's this story? But, white people. And by the way, white supremacy or a white supremacist, if you say it's okay to be white, you're one of those. So you're part of the biggest danger to America. The biggest threat of domestic terror comes from someone that would go, hey, it's okay to be white. All lives matter. You're now in that category where you are the biggest existential terroristic threat to the United States of America. Isn't that nice? Isn't that great? It's all so tiring, isn't it? It's all so fucking tiring. Assholes. Oh, I'm angry. I'm angry because I'm just looking at my dark soy sauced head. I should get some white spray paint. Go, get my little Paulie Walnuts wings back. Crazy. Very, very dark. Mamdani, New York mayor, hopeful. He's the Democrat candidate for mayor of New York City, and he'll probably win because you New Yorkers are a bunch of fucking assholes. Just call it like I see it, you assholes. So Mamdani did a little sit-down interview on a podcast, and he was asked a couple of questions. How about him actually calling for, in certain circumstances, and one of those circumstances being housing the people in New York City that are unhoused. Remember homeless people? Yeah, they're unhoused people now. Now, how would you house them? Well, he has no problem with the abolition of private property. This is, he calls himself a socialist. He's a communist. He's like a real live communist, not socialist. People want to say it all the time. I call him a communist. They go, he's a socialist because he believes it. You want to abolish private property. The state runs the property and then utilizes your former private property as public housing, state-run public housing. Yeah, they got plenty of those in old Soviet Union, these blocks of buildings, gray cement. And that's communism. So let's listen to this idiot talk about scooping up your property.
My platform is that every single person should have housing. And I think faced with these two options, the system has hundreds of thousands of people unhoused, right? For what? And if there was any system that could guarantee each person housing, whether you call it the abolition of private property or you call it, just a statewide housing guarantee, it is preferable to what is going on right now. Mm-hmm. And I think that people try and play like gotcha games about these kinds of things. And it's like, look, I care more about whether somebody has a home.
My hair's almost as dark as his. He's a muzzy. Anyway. Yeah. He's, hey, to house people? Yeah. Yeah, I'd abolish private property. Really? How do you go about doing that, mayor of New York? They want to call Trump the king, dictator. He wants to be an oppressor and take over. There won't be elections. What about guys like this asshole who thinks that the mayor of New York City can abolish private property and put public state-run housing on formerly owned private property? Fucking idiot. Like, I know he can't do it, but the fact that he wants to do it should tell you you shouldn't be voting for this guy. because there are a couple of things a mayor has the power to do. And based on what he just said, I'm sure those would suck too. I'm sure those would be commie ideas also. So I don't know. I don't like that guy. I don't think he'd be good for New York. I don't live there anymore, so I don't give a shit. But I got to go back once a month. And I don't want to visit in New York City run by that fucking asshole. Call me crazy. All right, I heard that. Here's another quote from him. Same interview, I think, right? Yeah. Does it look like he's in a airport bathroom? Or are those sliding paper doors like some Jap food joint? He's asked here, it's a quick clip, if prisons are obsolete. Prisons. And here's his well thought out answer.
Are prisons obsolete?
Whew, coming through with the quotes, coming through with the titles of the books. I have to read that, actually. I haven't read that as yet. But I think that, frankly, I mean, what purpose do they serve? Right? I think we have to ask ourselves that, which is that, you know, I think a lot of people who defend the carceral state, they defend the idea of it and the way it makes them feel.
Oh, they defend people to defend the idea of it and the way it makes them feel. He seems to believe that prisons are nothing but retribution and punishment just for the joy and satisfaction of the public. Good, you're in prison. Fuck you. Does this guy understand that there's a reason these people go to prison? That many of the people in prison are there because they are a danger to society, and it's not just this retribution for what they've done. It's to keep them away from the rest of civil society. And what is his alternative? What's his fucking alternative to prisons? Oh, prisons are obsolete. The incarceral society we live in, and your house. How about your place? I hear his parents come from wealth. How about your house? How about your family's private property? Give that up for public housing. Half for public housing, half for prisons. Or not prisons, but they could just live there. Come and go as they please. Hang out with your family. Maybe your fucking nieces. They have these great ideas. And the simple-minded liberals, the people that think socialism is so cool, they bite and they eat this shit up. Yeah. Free everything and no one's in prison, man. There's no system to keep us down. And you ask them for the answers to the problems that type of world would generate, and they don't have an answer. Where are the prisoners going? Where do the people that owned the private property, what do they get in return for coughing up their private property to the state so they could open up public housing or low income housing? Or what happens to the private property owners? Do they get compensated? Of course not. It's like eminent domain. They just it didn't say buy private property and turn it into a city housing project. It said the abolition. Abolishing private property, just getting rid of it. That's not buying it from the guy. That's the government coming in and going, yeah, see that? It's ours now. We own that. You don't anymore. We're building on it. Because eminent domain dictates that the government can take your property if we have a better use for it than you. We have a need. There is a need that outweighs your need to have your private property. So they just take it. And this guy's fine with that. And these dummies, these youngsters that loved his TikTok videos are all fucking lathered up and frothing at the mouth to vote for this douchebag. You people. I'm constantly disappointed. Constantly disappointed by New York City. The whole state, actually, but the city is really a fucking zit on a mole. That's what New York City is. Good luck. Good luck to you. Holy moly. Starbucks. This is fucking awesome too. Again, these are the same youthful people that would vote for Mamdani, and they have such a sense of self-importance. And they think whatever their belief system is and ideology is perfect and right. And if you disagree with it, you are a tyrannical, oppressive, Nazi asshole. So they put on little shows for themselves and they get little applause. You see this at demonstrations and protests. You know, they get up and some idiot gets a bullhorn, and for that moment, it's the first time they've ever been heard, because there's such assholes in regular life. No one wants to give them the time of day. So they get that bullhorn and they start going, "We got whose streets? Whose streets?" And everyone yells back, "Our streets." They're like, oh, I got some power for a minute. But for the most part, no one ever wants to fucking talk to these dimwits. So now Starbucks has their baristas, they're coffee servers, they're fucking counter clerks. It's no different than working in a deli, than working at a flower shop. You're a counter person. You work at a clothing store. You're a counter person. You're a clerk. And they think of themselves like the most amazing people, a talent that is irreplaceable, and their bosses should fucking know it. Pay them unbelievable amounts of money, give in to any demand they make, whether it's a dress code, what kind of hair, what kind of fucking small caliber metal they could shoot into their faces, whatever it is. And they should all summarily just be fired. Just fire these people already. I didn't know Starbucks was unionized. That's stupid. How important are these people? Anyway, watch this. Watch this fag.
This is a message for Starbucks CEO Brian Niccol. He, your Green Apron partners, are the face of the Starbucks experience. But time and time again, you are ignoring our demands and making our jobs harder. Starbucks won't thrive until we do.
That's right.
Starbucks is at over 600 union stores demand that you return to good faith bargaining and settle a fair contract.
A fair contract? These are people you could throw the fuck out at 8 a.m. and by 10 a.m. have a completely new staff doing a job just as good as they were doing. That abso-fucking-lutely. Contract? You pour coffee. You froth a little milk. You hopefully write the correct name on the side of a cup. Contract? And their demands for $20 an hour and more, and the right to wear their gay flag t-shirts and hats and have their hair in a matted fucking tick-infested pile on top of their head. We have our demand. This is for the CEO. If I was a CEO, I go, who is? Yeah, get the fuck rid of him right now. If he isn't fired in 10 minutes, you're fired. That's what the CEO should do. Well, he's, a union under contract. I don't give a shit. He could sue us. Get him the fuck out of there. Take his apron, take his shirt and his pants, and boot his ass out the door. We've had enough. How long do you think it would take to replace that guy? Can you? Thank you. You're hired. $12 an hour, which is way too much, but oh my God. They're fucking mental patients. Or bargaining in good faith contract. What is this? The fucking automotive union? What is this, Detroit? Are these assholes putting engines into car chassis? You're making a cup of coffee, you fruit. Bargaining in good faith. Where's the mafia? Where's the mob when you need them for a good union problem? Just smack this kid around a little bit. A fucking mobster comes out with a little piece of pipe. We hear you've been giving a company a little bit of a problem. What? I just want the CEO to bargain in good faith. How are you going to be able to bargain in good faith with this lead pipe sticking halfway up your ass? Ooh, don't threaten me with a good time. Unbelievable. So if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.